Morning class. In yesterday's lecture, we were discussing the AbO3 type of ionic crystals. AbO3 type of ionic crystals are also popularly known as perovskite crystal structure. What you can see in the unit cell diagram, the lattice is a primitive cubic lattice. Don't get confused that it is having an FCC like lattice or a BCC like lattice, because it is not satisfying the conditions for BCC or the FCC lattice. For either of them, the corner sides and face side, or the corner side and the body centered side, has to be identical. In the AbO3 type of structure, your corner sides, the face centered side and the body centered side are not same. Hence, the basic structure of the lattice is the primitive cubic, where only identical atoms are at the edges of the unit cell. So, what are the coordinate positions of the anions and the cations? In this case, we have titanium plus 4 in the representative unit cell is at the body centered position, and Ba2 plus is making the lattice positions, so it is at the corner of the unit cell. So the motif coordinates for the A ion, remember A ion is the one which has +2 valency. So barium goes and occupies the A site, and A site in this case is the corner site, which is precisely the lattice position. So its motif coordinates is 0, 0, 0, because it is precisely on the lattice point. While the B ion is at the body center, so its coordinates are 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, and oxygen ion is at the face centered site, so its coordinate will be 1/2, 1/2, 0. Remember, oxygen atoms forms an FCC like structure. It is not precisely the FCC structure, as I have already explained, because the corner sides and the face centered sides are dissimilar. So oxygen only sits at the face centered position and not at the regular lattice sides, making the corner of the unit cell. As far as the coordination goes, the titanium plus 4, which is at the body center, is surrounded by 6 of its adjacent oxygen neighbors. So titanium is actually at the octahedral site. AbO3 type of structures can be formed by different ions sitting at A and B positions. You can have two possible valencies that A and B ions can take. For example, since you have 3 oxygens, so the total valency of the oxygen side is, oxygen you remember has its valency to be equal to -2. So if I have 3 oxygen, my total valency is -6. So I have to compensate the negative charge with an equal number of positive charge. So A and B together should provide me +6 charge. So there are two possible configurations where the A side has +2 valency and B side has +4 valency, Or the other possible configuration is where A side and B side both have +3 valency each. So accordingly, we can have two variants of an AbO3 type of structure. The first variant is the one where A2 plus, B4 plus, O3 kind of configuration is formed. And in the second case, you have A3, B plus 3, O3 type of configuration is being formed. Both are perovskite structures, and many important solids, mostly the titanium based oxides, formed under these form of the lattice. For example, if you look at the solids that forms A2 plus, B4 plus, O3 type of configuration, you can see barium titanium oxide, lead titanium oxide, calcium titanium oxide, strontium titanium oxide, etc. forms this kind of structure. While the lanthanum and aluminum based solids generally forms perovskite structures with A3 plus, B3 plus, O3 type of structure. The typical example is LaAlO3 or LaGaO3, BiFeO3. Remember, Fe is an important element. It is present in large number of solids, and it could have its valency +2 or +3. So if its valency is +2, it goes and occupy the A site, and if its valency is +3, it will go and occupy the B site. So you have to be careful in looking at the crystal structure where a particular anion goes and occupy either the A site or the B site in the unit cell. So overall, you can say your B site is basically the center of the unit cell, and your A site is the corner site, which is the regular lattice point. Any doubt in AbO3 type of structure?
सर बी सर वो क्यों लेगा सर गलती कौन वाला साइड लेगा सर बी
B is basically your position where your cation is surrounded by oxygen octahedra, right? So your B side is the titanium side. Let me mark it. This is your B side, the one that I have just marked with a red color, right? Because it is the octahedral side. And where is your A side? Your A side is, in this particular example, are the blue dots, barium 2 plus. So where are they? They are making the corners. So all your corner sides are A sides. So this is A side, this is also A side, this is A side, A side, A side, A side, A side, and of course you have one more, this. So your regular lattice site, which is the corner sides, is the A site, and the center of the unit cell, which is an octahedral void, is the B site. And your face centered atoms are the oxygen atoms. Is it clear now?
ओके सर ओके
Okay, let's proceed then. Okay, next in the line of discussion is an Ab2O4 type of ionic crystal structure. Ab2O4 type of ionic crystal structure is popularly known as the spinel structure. Spinel structure actually is a very complicated structure made up of a very large unit cell. So if you try to look at the picture where I have shown the atomic positions in the unit cell, you can hardly understand anything because the unit cell itself looks too complicated. So instead of looking at that particular unit cell to begin with, we will try to understand the AB2O4 type of structure with a little different representation. So I ask you to look at the schematic diagram shown at the bottom of this slide. You focus on this particular unit cell rather than the one which is shown with the atomic position. So if you look in the region which I have just circled, you can see that your entire unit cell whose edge length is equal to A is in fact made up of small subunit cells which are also cubic, and they are 8 in number. You can count, there are 8 small cubes make the larger cube, and those 8 cubes are also shaded in 2 different colors. One is shaded with lines while the other one is plain, or you can say bright white. So point is, your unit cell of spinel is made up of 8 subunits. They are all cubics, and the subunits are of 2 types. For the time being, let us call it type X and type Y. Type X is the plain one and type Y is the shaded one. Now, what is the difference between X and Y? I will come back to it at a later stage. If you simply look at the overall structure of the unit cell, which I have marked with the circle, you can say that it is made up of 8 cubic unit cells. And in fact, those subunit cells are not only the cubic unit cells, but they are the face-centered cubic unit cell. So overall, my point is, your AB2O4 type of spinel structure is actually made up of a unit cell which is having 8 subunit cells of FCC. So each smaller circle in the representative diagram is actually made up of an FCC cell. Now you have 3 types of atoms: atoms of A type, atoms of B type, and oxygen. If you talk about the stoichiometric ratio, what you can see from the chemical formula is, if I have 1 atom of A, then I have 2 corresponding atom of B and 4 corresponding atom of oxygen. So if I take the ratio of A to B to oxygen, then it will be 1 gem 2 gem 4, right? You have to remember this. In the spinel, the ratio of A side to the B side to the oxygen side is always 1 gem 2 gem 4. Now, if I ask you that if I have 1 FCC unit cell, how many number of atoms will be there in an FCC unit cell? The effective number of atoms. Can you remember the effective number of atoms in the FCC unit cell? Anyone can answer me?
4.
Good. There are 4 effective number of atoms in 1 FCC unit cell, and the spinel unit cell is actually made up of 8 of such FCC unit cells. So in 1 such unit cell, I have 4 atoms, and I have 8 of them. So 8 into 4, that means I will have total 32 number of atoms making my overall larger spinel unit cell. Where are these 32 oxygen atoms? These 32 oxygen, these 32 FCC atoms are actually the oxygen atoms. So your lattice, the larger lattice of the spinel unit cell is made up of 32 number of oxygen atoms required to make 8 unit cells of FCC. Now, then the next question is, where is then A atom and the B atom? I told you the ratio of A side to the B side to the oxygen side is 1 jam, 2 jam, 4. So only 1/4 of the atoms goes and occupy the A side corresponding to the oxygen side, because oxygen is 4, then A is 1. So my question is, if oxygen are 32 in number, how many atoms will be at A side? The ratio of A to oxygen is 1 jam 4 and oxygen is 32. So how many A's? 32 divided by 4. So
8.
your A side is actually made up of 8 atoms, and likewise my ratio of A side to the B side is 1 jam 2, because it is A, B, 2. So if you have 1 A, then 2 B. So if I have 8 A's, then I will going to have 16 B atoms. So in any spinel unit cell, which is actually made up of 8 subunit cells of FCC, I have 32 lattice sites, which is occupied by 32 oxygen atoms. I have 8 A sites and 16 B sites. Now, where is A site and where is B site? I am coming back to that. Now, before we discuss the exact positions of A atom and B atom in this spinel unit cell, I will ask another query. If I have 1 unit cell of FCC, how many tetrahedral voids do I have?
8, sir.
8. And if my spinel unit cell is made up of 8 subunit cells of FCC, then how many total tetrahedral voids will be available to me? It will be 8 in 1 unit cell multiplied by the number of subunit cell is 8. So 8 into 8. So total available will be 64. Right? So in the larger unit cell, I have 32 regular lattice positions, which is already occupied by the oxygen atoms. And the larger unit cell, which is made up of 8 subunit cells of FCC, contains total 64 tetrahedral sites. And your A site is actually the tetrahedral site. So out of the 64, I have to fill only 8 tetrahedral site. So each of these subunit cell contains only one A site occupied in each of the subunit cell. Is it clear? So out of 64, only 1/8 of the tetrahedral void, TV stands for tetrahedral. So only 1/8 of the 64 tetrahedral void is occupied, and this void position is your A site. So your A atom is going and occupying one of the tetrahedral void. Now, which tetrahedral void the A atom will go and occupy in the subunit cell out of the 8? So it can take any of them. But the moment it occupies position 1, means the first octahedral void, then in the neighboring side, it will occupy the second position. In the third one, it will go and occupy the third one. In the fourth, it will go and occupy the fourth one. In the fifth, it will go and occupy the fifth one. In the sixth, it will go and occupy the sixth one. Seventh, only the seventh side will be occupied, and in the eighth subunit cell, the eighth side will be occupied. The remaining sites will remain vacant in each of the subunits. Now, which site is 1, which site is 2, which site is 3, which site is 4? So it tries to arrange the A site in a way that around its vicinity, all its surrounding tetrahedral sites are unoccupied. What is my point? The farthermost tetrahedral void is along the two opposite corners. So in the two neighboring atoms, your tetrahedral voids are arranged themselves in a way they are in the opposite corners. So in every next neighboring position, your tetrahedral void will position itself further away from the tetrahedral void in the neighboring site. So all A atoms goes and occupy the tetrahedral void. They are 8 in number, and we have 64 tetrahedral voids. So only 1/8 of the total tetrahedral void is occupied. That means in every subunit cell, I have one tetrahedral void occupied by the A atom. Clear up to this point? Okay, good. Now coming to the B position. B position is actually an octahedral void. So if I ask you again, how many octahedral voids I have in one FCC unit cell? Effective number of voids?
4.
Sorry, I couldn't hear.
Sir, 4.
4. Good. Right? So effectively, if I have 4 voids, the octahedral voids in one unit cell, and I have 8 such subunit cells, then 8 into 4, that gives me 32 octahedral voids. And how many B atoms I have? I have only 16 B atoms. That means only half of the 32 sites will be occupied, because half of the 32 is 16. So half of the octahedral sites is occupied by the B atom in the spinel structure, right? So this is the situation for the B atom. Indirectly, it means out of the 16, they distribute themselves in a way 2 octahedral voids in every subunit cell is being occupied. So now if you try to look at the larger unit cell shown with the atom positions, you can see the larger unit cell is actually made up of 8 smaller cubes, the one which is shown in the schematic diagram like this. So this cube is basically here. And what you can see is, if you focus only on the red balls, you can see they are the oxygen sites. So they makes your regular lattice position. And then you can see there are green atoms. Where is the green atom? The green atom is lying in the interior region of the tetrahedral void. We have actually made the tetrahedral coordination, and you can see the green atom. I am marking with a blue Let me mark it again. I'm marking it with the blue dot. So this position is my octahedral void and it is being occupied. So likewise, in every one subunit cell, one octahedral void is occupied. So for example, in the front one, means the front cube, the front lower left corner octahedral void is occupied, while in the back cube, the lower left back tetrahedral void is being occupied. Then alternately, if you go in the top of that, the front will be occupied, then in the back, and correspondingly, if I move from left to right, if in the first case, the front one is occupied, then in the neighbor, the back one will be occupied. So alternate tetrahedral voids is being occupied at the front and at the back side. So your green sides are the A sides and the blue dots are your edge centers, or you can say the octahedral void in each of the unit cell. Now your octahedral void is being distributed in a way that in one cubic unit cell, two octahedral voids are being occupied. And again, the distribution will be in a way that if one octahedral void, which is the edge center of the front, then in its all surrounding position, the front octahedral void will be empty and the back octahedral void will be occupied. Again, then there are two positions, the lower position and the upper position. So on one side, the lower position will be occupied, and on the right hand side, the upper octahedral position will be occupied. So overall, what you should remember is the spinel lattice is made up of 8 subunits of FCC, where the lattice site is being occupied by the oxygen. A occupies the tetrahedral void, only 1/8 of the total, and B site is being occupied at the octahedral void, which is occupying 1/2 of the total available octahedral positions. So A positions are 8 in number, B positions are 16 in number, and oxygen position is 32 in number. Is it clear? So if somebody asks what is the percentage occupancy, for A it is 1/8 and for B it is 1/2. For oxygen, all sites are occupied, right? And stoichiometric ratio is A to B to oxygen is 1:2:8. Any further doubt?
सर अगर सारे साइट्स ऑक्यूपाई करना चाहें सारे टेट्राहेड्रल और ऑक्टाहेड्रल वॉइड्स
No,
तो कर सकते हैं.
No, it is not possible. In this particular spinal structure, your available oxygen is 4 and your available A is 1, right? So when you have 4 oxygen, then only 1 A is available. So if you have total 32 oxygen available, then only 8 A will be available. So there is no way by which you can bring 64 A's to take up all of your tetrahedral voids. Why it is not possible? It is not possible because you don't have enough number of A atoms. If you are asking me if I have say 64 atoms, then can it go and occupy all the tetrahedral voids? Yes. The structure doesn't restrict you to go and occupy all tetrahedral voids, but your stoichiometric ratio is such that you have only 8 A atoms, and that is why only 1/8 of the tetrahedral void is being occupied. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's proceed further. Now, when it comes to the spinel has two variants. The
सर एक बार सर प्लीज ऑक्टाहेड्रल सर एक्सप्लेन कर दो सर एक बार प्लीज
okay, what is the doubt? What is not clear to you? Then I will focus on that part.
सर एक में सर कहते दो ही होते हैं ना सर ऑक्टाहेड्रल
Yeah, you have only two atoms, A atom and B atom, right? A atom goes and occupy the tetrahedral voids. So A is always at tetrahedral. Your
यस सर
A is at tetrahedral void
यस सर
and B is at octahedral void, right?
यस
How
सर
many A you have? 8.
यस सर
And how many tetrahedral void you have?
तो 4 होता है सर एक में तो एक यूनिट सेल में सर 4 होता है ना
नहीं, tetrahedral void 8 होती है. 1/4 along the
सर मैं ऑक्टाहेड्रल की बात कर रहा हूँ
octahedral 4 होती है, tetrahedral 8 होती है.
8 होती है हाँ
हाँ 8. तो टेट्राहेड्रल 8 होती है, तो 8 में कितनी होगी? एक में 8, तो 8 में
8 में 64 8 में 64
8 में 64 और आपके
अच्छा।
पास उसमें से 64 में से 8 ही ऑक्यूपाई हो रही है, तो ओनली 1/8 इज ऑक्यूपाइड.
यस सर
So only 1/8 of the 64 tetrahedral void is occupied. और octahedral होती है, एक में कितनी
ऑक्टाहेड्रल
होती है?
सर 4 होती है सर 4
4 होती है. तो 8 यूनिट सेल में कितनी हो गई? 8
हाँ
into
सर
4, 32,
सही है
right?
32 यस सर
तो आपके पास टोटल हो गई 32 और 32 में से कितनी ऑक्यूपाई है? 16, क्योंकि आपके पास 16 बी एटम है, राइट?
सही है
तो कितनी फ्रैक्शन ऑक्यूपाई हो गई? हाफ.
उनमें सही है
ठीक है. So
हाँ सर
half of the B side is occupied and 1/8 of the A side is occupied.
सर ऑक्टाहेड्रल होता कहाँ सर टेट्राहेड्रल सर हर कॉर्नर में होता है ना सर टेट्राहेड्रल तो हर कॉर्नर में होता
Octahedral,
है
okay, let me show you that. Where is octahedral? I will go back to here I can show you. I'm removing the annotations just. Look at this unit cell. You can see if you only look at the green balls, the green ball is the FCC unit cell.
यस सर
And now focus on the brown balls. The brown balls are the middle of the edge. Every brown ball is the middle of the edge, right?
यस सर
ये edge है ना?
यस
This
सर
one is edge line और उसका जो middle है is the brown ball. So that brown ball position is your octahedral void. ठीक है?
यस सर
Okay, so what I was explaining was spinels are of two types. One is called the normal spinel. The other one is called the inverse spinel. So what is the difference between the two? In the normal spinel, you have chemical formula A2 plus B3 plus O4. Means the cation which has +2 valency will go and occupy the A side, while the cation which has +3 valency will always go and occupy the B side. If that is the situation, your spinel is the normal spinel. That means anyone whose chemical distribution is like this, A2 plus B plus 3 O4 is normal spinel. Many solids like magnesium aluminum oxide MgAl2O4 or iron Al2O4 or cobalt Al2O4 they all forms the normal spinel structure. Now, contradictory to this, in the inverse spinel structure, the distribution of +2 ions and +3 ion is little different. If I want to write it in the form of a chemical formula, I can write the inverse spinel crystal structure chemical formula as BAbO4. What does it mean? My one of the B atom, remember your B atom is the one which is having +3 valency. So one of the B atom goes and occupy the tetrahedral site. So whatever is the B atom available to you, they are 2 in number. Half of them goes and occupy the A site. So your first A is at A site. The second A is at B site. Since A site is already occupied by the B atom, A is being forced to occupy the B site. Right? So the difference between the normal spinel and the inverse spinel is the cation with +2 charge in the normal spinel was at the tetrahedral void, while in the inverse spinel it is at the octahedral void. And the B+3 cation, which is in the normal spinel, they are all at the octahedral void. Now in the inverse spinel, half of them is at the tetrahedral void and the remaining half is at the octahedral void. So if I say I have 16 B sites, then out of the 16 B, 8 are at the tetrahedral void and the remaining 8 are at the octahedral void. कौन सा? जिसकी वैलेंसी +3 है, जिसकी वैलेंसी +2 है, that is your A2 plus will go and occupy all the 8 other available octahedral void. Is it clear? The difference between inverse spinel and the normal spinel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the typical example is Fe3O4. Remember, in this Fe3, you have one of the Fe as +2 and the remaining 2 Fe as +3, because your formula is A2 plus B3 plus O4. Then nickel ferrite NiFe2O4, cobalt ferrite CoFe2O4. Remember, in one of the experiments where we have measured the Curie temperature, we have used ferrites as our sample. So ferrites are typically the spinels, and now you understand spinels are the one which is having Ab2O4 type of the unit cell, either in the normal form or in the inverse spinel form. If it is normal, A goes and occupy the tetrahedral site. If inverse, A goes and occupy the octahedral site. Remaining sites will be occupied by the B. Okay, so this was all about the ionic solids. Now we'll quickly review the covalent solids. Let me see how much time we have. Okay, we are running out of time, so I'm not discussing the covalent solid structures today. We will do it in the next class, and with this this unit will get over. So we are closing for now.